Welcome to our channel, where we share heartfelt, unfinished love stories that are emotional, genuine, and unforgettable. If you feel touched while listening, don't forget to like and subscribe to hear more stories that will stay with you long after they end. You guys, I can't believe what just happened. I set up surveillance at home, and I ended up catching my girlfriend Betrayal. What a wild turn of events. OMG, where do I even begin? So, my amazing girlfriend, who's 30, has been living with me, a 31-year-old guy, and my family for the past 2 years. Can you believe it? Time flies. Can you believe it? We've been together for almost 4 amazing years. She had a major showdown with her dad and made the bold decision to move out. My mom, with her incredible kindness, totally offered to let her stay with us. How sweet is that? Absolutely, I was totally on board. I totally loved her. Absolutely adored. So, I've definitely had my moments of feeling a bit jealous in relationships, but it's never been over the top or anything wild. I totally get that the title might throw you off, but trust me, it was the only path to uncovering the truth. So, a year ago, I was totally vibing with my sister, her boyfriend, and this girl while we were playing code names, and that's when my suspicions started to bubble up about her. You know what I mean? So we're going to call her Stacy. So Stacy and my sister's boyfriend were teamed up, and honestly, I just wasn't vibing with the energy they were giving off from the start. She was totally cracking up at all his jokes, and he was playfully teasing her about some stuff. Honestly, it all seemed super flirtatious, and I was totally not here for it. So that night, I had a little chat with her, and she was like, "Oh, it's nothing." Absolutely. So, during this period, I was juggling school and working as a cook, which meant I was out and about a lot. There are nights when I don't roll in until after midnight. My parents and my sister were all grinding away at those 8 to 4 jobs. My girlfriend was all about that weekend hustle while juggling her online classes. So, my sister's boyfriend works in construction, and get this, his schedule is 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. How cool is that? Pretty much the entire day. So, guess what? Stacy and my sister's boyfriend had the house all to themselves. Ever since that epic board game night, my suspicions have just been on the rise. Whenever they found themselves in the same room, Stacy hardly glanced his way anymore. They'd casually chat every now and then. I noticed a shift in the vibe of their relationship. I had another chat with Stacy and asked her why she's been acting so weird around him lately. She told me it's because she doesn't want to upset me. I totally felt for her and didn't want her to feel guilty at all. I promised myself I wouldn't revisit that topic, and guess what? I totally stuck to it. Just 6 days ago. So, I was just chilling on the couch upstairs in the living room, soaking in all the cozy vibes. OMG, you guys. So, I was chilling and totally spotted Stacy in the kitchen, half in view, whipping up a smoothie. How cute is that? So, my sister's boyfriend just came downstairs and is whipping up some lunch for himself. Yum! I totally played it cool, acting like I was super into my phone while secretly trying to catch a glimpse of what was happening around me. I could hardly make out their silhouettes in the reflection of the back door's glass. They were moving around each other, doing their own thing, when out of nowhere, he playfully lightly nudged. In that moment, I was totally frozen in time. Every part of me was on fire. So after my sister's boyfriend headed back upstairs, I totally got up from the couch, made my way to the front door, and slipped on my shoes. Stacy walks over to me and asks, "Hey, where are you headed?" OMG, did I just respond, really? Right now, she's really putting the pressure on, talking about breaking up and moving out to live solo. It's tough because she's saying she's struggling financially and that she might have to leave school to take on a job that she doesn't even want. It's definitely a heavy situation. I really thought about just walking away and letting her go, but in the end, I chose to apologize. I totally owned up to everything, pleaded for her to stick around, and made a heartfelt promise to never ever mention it again. After some serious persuasion, she finally decided to stick around, and we made our way back to the house together. But I totally knew what I saw. I was totally on the hunt for some solid proof. So, that night, I totally decided to grab a super sleek black setup surveillance from Amazon. Can't wait to see how it turns out. I just unboxed it and set it up in my living room right next to the kitchen, perfectly nestled in the corner by the curtains, so excited to see how it looks in this space. The next morning, just 2 days ago, while everyone was still catching those Z's, I quietly retrieved the footage, popped it into the USB, and swiftly checked out the footage on my laptop. So exciting. Absolutely nothing. So, I totally tidied up the space and popped that chip back into the camera. OMG, you guys. Yesterday was such a dream because I finally got what I wanted. I totally woke up before everyone else again and got to check out the chip. So exciting. So, around 3:20 a.m., I spotted my sister's boyfriend making his way down the stairs and plopping himself on the couch. What a vibe. Just a few minutes later, Stacy makes her way upstairs from our room. She gracefully makes her way over to him, settles onto his lap, and honestly, I just couldn't handle watching it any longer. I honestly couldn't believe it. All this time, you were just playing me, making me feel like I was the one in the wrong. I headed back downstairs, gently woke up Stacy, set the laptop in front of her, and hit play on the video. As soon as she caught on to what was going down, she quickly shut it down and just froze in place. It felt like time stood still, with silence stretching on forever. She was in tears, struggling to find her words, and then I finally stepped in to say something. Honestly, you are just the most unkind person I've ever encountered. Okay, it's time to get your things together. Seriously, don't make me share this with your whole circle. That's a wrap. What came next was just a super lengthy, totally weak apology that honestly, I don't even want to dive into. So she finally decided to give her dad a call. So he swung by and picked her up. Looks like she's heading back to live with her family again. Exciting times ahead. So, I've got a ton of her stuff still hanging around, and she doesn't have any friends to help out with it. Honestly, I'm totally at a loss for what to do with all this stuff. So my sister's boyfriend has officially been kicked out, and now he's got his own place. Can you believe it? OMG, can you even imagine? Stacy might just take the plunge and move in with him. How cute would that be? I honestly couldn't care less at this point. My ex hooked up with a coworker, and honestly, 6 months later, I'm still trying to process it all. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit lost on where to start. So we were together for like 3.5 years. And then in January, he came home one day and dropped this news that a mutual friend of ours applied for his job. I was totally excited because I knew her from a previous gig. So my mom worked at a bagel shop with this guy, and I just knew she'd totally crush it with the pace. I mean, we've got that Panera hustle in our blood, right? So I was totally hyped for her to step in and help out my mom, my ex, and their coworkers. Like, I couldn't wait to see how it all turned out. I really believed she was a true friend and didn't even hesitate. After a few weeks of collaborating, she decided to add him on Facebook. I totally brushed it off when he mentioned that she added him, and honestly, we just never talked about it again. So, a couple of nights passed, and we found ourselves cozying up in front of the TV together. So he totally shared that she hit him up with a "hey" on Messenger. We totally giggled and were like, what does she want? Just a little update for you all. He was keeping me in the loop on everything, so he shot her a quick hello message. Just a few hours later, and bam, she totally pours her heart out in this long paragraph, sharing just how much she's always liked him, even back when we were both working at Panera a couple of years ago. It's so sweet and nostalgic. I definitely didn't brush it off. Honestly, I have to take responsibility for this one. I used to feel so jealous and totally overwhelmed, and I ended up messaging myself on my own account. I just can't believe someone would try to come between us, especially knowing our history and how long we've been together. It's so messed up. She totally apologized and mentioned she was just having a drink and didn't really think it through. I was like, no worries at all. So my ex, who was my boyfriend back then, totally ghosted me and said he didn't respond. Can you believe it? I totally asked him the next day to just remove her from his Facebook, and honestly, we can leave it at that. So we both headed to work today, and I totally have a later shift than he does. He finishes up at 3, while I wrap things up at 5. Honestly, my job is super chill, which means I get to spend a lot of time on my phone. I totally spotted that they were both online on Facebook at the same time when the clock hit 3. How wild is that? I checked his profile again just 20 minutes later, and she was gone. I really thought that was it, like the final chapter had closed. Wow, I totally misjudged that. So, everything was feeling pretty normal for a while. But then one night, my anxiety and depression really hit hard. That night was a total blast. We were sipping on some drinks and just vibing while playing video games like we always do. So we stepped out for a little smoke break, and I just had to spill my feelings about this girl that's been making me super anxious. I shared with him that all I can picture in my mind is him heading over to her place after they finish up and spending the night with her. He totally broke down and started crying, saying he would never even dream of screwing me over like that. I've been hustling since I was 16, balancing a full-time job and being a full-time college student majoring in public health, all while rocking my own car for years. So this girl is juggling 2 DUIs and just scraping by. Can you believe it? So, my ex was totally the one who always brought up marriage first and all that jazz. When he got upset, oh boy, did he really get upset. He said that if we ever broke up, he would be absolutely heartbroken and would do anything to make things right again. I totally believed him, like for real. OMG, I finally feel so relieved to just chill out and calm down. So, Valentine's Day is just around the corner, and guess what? He totally surprised me by making reservations at our fave restaurant and getting me the cutest giant teddy bear. How sweet is that? So V-Day rolls in, and honestly, it felt like everything was just a bit off. Honestly, our waitress seemed a bit disengaged, like she wasn't really feeling it that day. The energy was totally off, you guys. We got back home, snuggled up, and enjoyed a cozy movie night together. I was totally ready for some action since it had been a minute, but honestly, nothing went down. I was totally fine with it, you know? After being with someone for such a long time, it honestly becomes less significant, you know? Wow, can you believe it? A couple more days have passed, and honestly, my ex is just not himself anymore. It's wild to see the change. So, he totally pulled an all-nighter and decided to skip class, and I had to let him know that's just not cool. Can you believe he already did it twice? And we're only a month and a half into the school year. Wow. So he reached out and mentioned that he wanted to chat, saying, I can be a bit much to handle sometimes. So he's been saying he hasn't been feeling us for months, but like, seriously? This guy was just crying over our breakup a few days ago, and now he's acting like a totally different person. What even is that? He snatched his keys and casually mentioned he was heading to the bar. I thought it would be a great idea to join him for a few drinks, thinking it might spark some good conversation between us. So he was like, don't go, and then totally decided to head out solo. Can you believe that? Last night was a tough one, you guys. I ended up staying home and just let it all out until 2 a.m. He totally stumbled in the door, like super drunk, and guess what? He drove there. Then he just crashed on the couch. Wild night, right? The next morning, I totally had to ask him what was going on. Like, if he wanted to be single, he should just be real with me instead of leaving me hanging. Seriously, communication is key, right? So he mentioned he wanted to be single, and I was like, that's it. I'm done. I reached out to my bestie and asked her to come over and help me with packing. We totally had the cutest 2-bedroom townhouse, and guess what? We shared it with our 2 adorable pups. I totally asked him to step out while she was hanging out so I could have a little chat with her. He just leaves, and that's the end of it. She swung by, lent a hand, and totally vibed with my rants. So, I shot him a text. So, he's been hitting me up like 5 times, saying he can't imagine losing me and is totally confused about what's going on in his head. His family has a background with bipolar schizophrenia. She shared her flat on social media for a sublease opportunity. Another month goes by, and guess what? They just made it official on Facebook. Wow, can you believe it's already been 6 months since the breakup? Time really flies. I've been reflecting on it a ton, and honestly, I'm feeling so much better now. So I just had an amazing therapy session, crushed it with all A's, and even tackled summer school to speed things up. Oh, and I treated myself to a brand new car, all in cash. Feeling so accomplished, I'm taking the leap and moving out on my own. So, I've been putting myself out there and trying to date again, but honestly, I can't help but think about my ex the entire time. It's just so hard to move on, you know? I'm on my own healing journey, and I'm embracing every moment, no matter how long it takes. So, my other sister snapped a cute pic of her in the NICU with the baby, and guess what? It was actually for her boyfriend. How sweet is that? OMG! You guys, the family truth are in, and it turns out it's definitely my brother-in-law's baby. Can you believe it? Wow, can you believe it? Everything we believed to be true all this time has totally shifted. Mind-blowing, right? It's so heartbreaking, you guys. They not only shattered their own families, but also left my parents and her in-laws heartbroken. My parents were totally heartbroken to find out that their daughter could do something like this. They were feeling down, and honestly, that vibe still lingers a bit today. My dad is totally transformed now. He's totally convinced he'll carry a broken heart to his grave because of her role in all of this. He's totally shocked that his own daughter would pull something like this. So here we are, 2 years later, and I'm still navigating this wild ride. Going through a difficult separation, dealing with parenting issues, and navigating some serious financial hurdles. It's a lot to handle, especially with so much at stake. She's totally living her best life with him, and guess what? They're getting married next month. How exciting is that? I totally asked my parents for their blessing, so my dad was like, "You've been doing your thing all these years without my blessing, and now you want it? Sorry, but it looks like you're not getting anything right now." Honestly, I'm totally over this wedding drama, but my heart goes out to her kids. I have 2 amazing daughters, aged 20 and 18, who are totally in the loop about what happened. Honestly, I'm feeling a bit conflicted about celebrating this with them. It just doesn't sit right with me. The kids are totally missing the bigger picture and have no clue about what actually happened. I'm totally not here for him or that relationship vibe.